G'day guys, so we're back again. Today we're going to do a video on the interior layout of our Jayco Caravan. So we're running a 1758-3. So I'm going to take you through the layout we've got, where we store things, and follow me in, we'll get started. So this is welcome to the inside of our caravan. So the layout of this van here, we've got our main bed here up at the front. So we've got a double bed up here, down the hallway into a bunk bed set up at the back left corner there, and an ensuite in the back right corner. So we'll work front to back, and I'll show you what we've done. Okay guys, so up the front of the van is the master bedroom, I guess you can call it. So we've got a double bed up the front here. It's an east-west bed. We've got two windows. We've got one at the front of the van and one on the side. So with the bed, you've got these cabinets above the bed here. So in this one here, we sort of keep a bit of knickknacks like charging equipment, batteries, phones, sort of thing there. And then you've got the three across the front of the van. So this is where we keep our clothes. We've got one each plus one in the centre for both of our stuff there. Down the foot of the bed, you get a couple of little pockets in there. You do get the TV antenna points which are inside that, and a charging point which the computer's plugged into at the moment. And we just keep a few things like beach towels, extra clothes, and some nappies and changing equipment there for our little ones. Also with the bed, you can lift this up. It's on hydraulic struts, and underneath the bed you've got a lot of underbed storage there. So in the back right corner we've got a hot water system and the water pump, which is obviously factory Jayco equipment. And other than that, all the rest of it is storage. We've also installed a hot water diesel heater, a diesel space heater in the front there, which heats the van when we're not plugged into 240 volt. So most of the outdoor equipment goes in there, our chairs, extra tents or anti-flap kits and stuff like that. So that's the front of the bed there. We also have installed this Sirocco fan here. So this fan's on a flexible mount here, so it moves all around, up and down and whatnot. It's got a few speed settings there, plus it's on a timer as well, so we can set it to turn off during the night if we want to. Just behind that, you can't see on the camera, but there is a dual USB port as well that we've installed since we've had the van, and we just use it to charge our phones and our watches, iPads and all that sort of equipment there. So moving into the kitchen area, on the wall here that faces the bed, we've got a switch for the lights. So you've got a master switch that turns all the lights off from the bed, plus a switch that turns these main lights on inside the room here. Next to that is a control for our diesel heater, so that shows the temp that it's set to, and also the interior temp of our van. So into the kitchen area, we've got these storage compartments above the kitchen. These just store all our sort of alfoil, glad wrap, bags, and all that sort of equipment there, tea towels, and a bit of tea and coffee as well. One of the things as well, the advantage of having a pop top, is you get all this storage space once the roof is up. So when you lift that roof up, all these cabinets become a bit of a shelf which you can stick stuff on when you're camping, which is great. Okay, so moving down to the sink, Jayco get a big stainless steel sink. We keep one of these collapsible buckets, which folds down to a nice small size, and we keep that inside the sink when we're travelling. A couple of reasons we do that. The first one is dirty dishes. Rather than just leave the dirty dishes around in the sink, we just chuck them in here in between washes. And the second one as well is when you're free camping, water's a pretty precious resource. This sink, which you can see, is massive. When you try and fill that up to wash your dishes, use a lot of water. So we just fill this little one up here, wash the dishes in that, and we save a lot of water. Another water saving tip we have there as well with this bucket is that we'll fill this up from the shower while we're waiting for the hot water to get through the lines. So that will be enough just to wash the dishes, and it saves waiting for the hot water in the shower, and gives you the ability to wash your dishes there. Also, something we've added in as well is these little this little caddy here, which we keep our hand soap and washing equipment in. This is just mounted to the back wall using a suction type mount. So it's a product called Fusion Lock. We bought it from Bunnings. You just stick them onto the wall. You've got a little pump that you suction them on, and it stayed there. So we've done quite a few off-road tracks now, corrugations, a lot of on-road driving, and that's stayed in place. It's never come off, so we're very happy with that. Underneath the kitchen, you've got your standard drawers and cupboard here. So the top one is unfortunately not a full drawer from Jayco. Just because of the sink there impedes into that drawer space, it's just a bit of a fold-out shelf, so we keep our aircon remote in there. And then going down from there, we have our cutlery drawer, a utensil drawer, and just where we keep our plates and bowls. We also use these little plastic containers here to hold our plates. So they just stop the plates from moving all over the place, and they hold them in nice and firmly while you're traveling so they don't break and smash up against each other. Next to that we have our large under kitchen cupboard. So this is obviously has your paper towel roll, plus top shelf where we keep lots of our mugs and cups and chopping boards and whatnot. Underneath that, unfortunately with Jayco, it is a little bit of a wasted space under here. This is where all the plumbing comes into the van, and you can see all these pipes in here sort of impede on that space. So there is a little bit of room behind there, but unfortunately the way that Jayco designed this, you can see there, a lot of this room is taken up by those pipes. So I have seen people have modified these and put in them closer to the wall, but we haven't really got around to that. So at the moment we just sort of work around it, but it is something you have to consider when you're packing your van. So we go to the stove, just got your typical 3-burner stove, 3 gas burner and 1 electric burner. That comes with the cover there and a splashback on the side. And then you've got your range hood as well. So the range hood has got an LED light in it and also a fan as well, exhaust fan that goes up to the outside of the van. On this model we've opted just for the grill, so you can opt for an oven which will remove the microwave, but we've got just the normal standard grill here. And then underneath that we've got our 240 volt microwave. This does not operate on 12 volt, only when we're plugged into Caravan sites. Now underneath that we've got a little utility space here, so normally we keep some barbecue cleaning equipment and some barbecue utensils and whatnot. Moving on to the side of the fridge here, we've got a couple of 240 volts, we've got our gas hot water system and a battery isolator switch. So when we're not plugged into a caravan park, this is where you turn your water heater on. That will stay red for a short time before it lights up and turns on. And then we've got our J control here. So this just tells us a little bit about the batteries and the water tank levels and whether or not we're plugged into 240 volt or 12 volt. So at the moment you can see we're running at 13.5 volt and it shows the water tank levels as well, which are full. So on top of the fridge we just use a sort of a bit of a pantry space for things like fruit and veg and some bread, some cereals. And then on this van we've also upgraded the fridge size to 164 litre 3-way fridge, and that comes with a small freezer compartment in there as well. One thing we've done is just added in a temperature gauge with a couple of wireless monitors inside the fridge and freezer just to keep an eye on the fridge. I don't think they're very accurate at the moment. It's showing us 12 degrees, however it is cold in there, but it will let us know whether the fridge accidentally turns off at any point, so it won't spoil our food. Underneath the fridge here we've got another compartment. So this is taken up a little bit by some electrical work and RCD and whatnot from the factory. However, on this side here we just keep things like clothesline, foil trays, bin bags and things like that. So that's what we keep in there. Okay, so just while we're in the kitchen area as well, when you walk into the van you come along this bench here. This is a pretty handy bench. It seems to fill up quite quickly in our family with all the sorts of things that we walk in and drop on this bench, but we do use it for a bit of food prep as well. And then underneath that you get your 3 storage compartments. So we mainly use this as a pantry, so it's got like condiments and snacks and all that sort of stuff in there. And the one closest to the door we use for things like medical kits, some baby medicine, first aid kit, paper towels, lighters and all that sort of stuff there. Just above that we have our main light switch. So this controls here the 2 exterior lights, one on the awning roll and one just on the outside of the van, and our interior lights and a master off switch. So hitting that off switch will turn all the lights off. And while we're on the lights as well, we've got 4 lights in the van. So you can see 3 down the roof of the van here and 1 in the bathroom. When you hit these switches they do all come on. However, they do have a little button in the center where you can turn them off individually, so that will allow you just to control the brightness of your van there. Opposite the kitchen, a few things that we've added into our van are these little hooks that we've just stuck onto the side of the cabinetry here. So one we just hang a bag from, and that's our rubbish bag for the van, and the other one we just usually hang a tea towel on, and that dries there. Another thing we've done is just added a little LED dimmer light on the side of this one here. So this is just for getting up in the middle of the night to sort the kids out. We can just turn that on nice and low, and it doesn't that means we don't have to turn all the lights on in the van, so that's coming pretty handy. Moving down a little bit, we've got the dinette in this kitchen. So there are 2 seats that face each other. We've upgraded this van to have the leatherette seats, and the reason we've done that is the 2 kids we have make a lot of mess. This leather allows us to clean that off really easily. It means that the drinks that they spill won't soak into that material, and it just keeps it a bit cleaner looking as well. So with the dinette you do get this big table. It is tight down the sides, and you've got to consider there's a wheel arch underneath the back of that table there. However, it's a big table, it allows 4 places to fit on there quite easily, and we do stick in a small child seat as well, which high chair mount sits in one of those couches there and allows our little one to sit up and eat with us at the table. With this as well, you do have this little clip here which will allow the table to move from side to side and lock into the centre. The other thing as well, this table does come undone with a fold out leg, so it can be easily removed, and often we do remove it and just put it aside at the back of the van. It sort of gives that bit of a living area that we can sit down and just relax there without having a table in front of us. Just sit down and have a coffee without the kids. One thing that's in the underneath the table there is a couple of 240 volt outlets, and we've opted for an additional 12 volt outlet in there as well for off-grid camping. In this van as well, these seat bottoms do come off as well. They're just attached with a couple of Velcro patches, so you can pull these out here, and there is a little bit of storage underneath these seats. So lifting up this flap here, we do have the drawer from underneath the seat, but then between the wheel arch and the end of that drawer, we have a bit of storage there. On both sides, this can fit a carton of beer or a carton of water, so it is pretty handy storage just above the axles there when you don't need to get to something very easily. Also at the end of these couches here are 2 pull-out drawers. So this one here holds our toaster, a fry pan and a saucepan, along with a couple of other kitchen items. And these are just used by press locks here, so that'll, while we're driving along, just press it in and it locks in. Another one here that we've got, this one just carries a few more saucepans and a 240 volt space heater as well, so when we're plugged in and we want a bit of extra heat, we can chuck that in as well. Okay, so we get to the bunk bed area of the van. You get 2 bunks in this model. So the top one here just has this factory guardrail here. They do also come with privacy screens. So the top one here just comes along the roof and goes all the way down to the end there. So when the kids are sleeping, you can block it off there for a little bit of extra privacy. Each of the bunk beds comes with a reading light as well, has a low voltage blue light and a full white light as well, and a couple of 240 volt outlets for each bunk. One thing we have found with these beds is they are a slightly different size to your beds at home. So these are slightly skinnier and shorter than your normal beds. So what we've done is bought a sheet set from a company called Zip Sheets, and they are designed to fit Caravan bunks. So I'll link them in the description below and where we got them from. But what they are is a normal fitted sheet. They come with a top sheet built in with zips down the sides as well. So for your young ones, when they wiggle out and they don't know how to get themselves back in, you can zip them up. And this allows them to stay a little bit warmer on those cold nights without having to bother you all the time as well. On the lower bunk here, what we've done, we've bought this bed rail. This is just a normal bed rail you can get from any baby store. Wasn't too expensive, but it does fold down. So we camp with, we started camping with our oldest one when she was 6 months, and our youngest one also when he was 6 months. So I'm not going to stay in that bed by themselves. We bought this bed rail here, just folds down when you want to get to it, and from here you can also see the zip sheets that we use. So these are the zip sheets that just fold up. You can get the kids in there, zip them up, and they're less likely to come undone during the night. Also, each of the bunks come with their own window. All the windows in the van are the same. They all have the privacy screen, the blackout, the fly screen, and they can also be pushed open as well if they want to. And along with that, they have a curtain on the outside. So again, a bit of privacy for the kids there. They can have their own space inside that. Under the bottom bunk of this bed is some more storage. So when you lift up the mattress here, you've got a couple of these wooden flaps and a whole lot more storage in here. So from this bar onwards, it's a little bit full with factory equipment. So you've got the end of the wheel arch in here, you've got the battery and the battery management system. But from this compartment down is all extra storage, so you can stick whatever you want to in there. One thing I have seen done on these vans as well is an optional hatch that allows access from the outside, just like a hatch you have on the front of the van or for your bathroom. There's another one that accesses it underneath this bunk. So if we were to build this van again, it's definitely something we would recommend. It's a little bit awkward to get underneath this storage, but a hatch from the outside would make it that much easier. And we'll be able to put a lot more stuff in here that we use more frequently. So if you're looking at one of these vans, definitely consider that exterior hatch. At the end of the van, we have this wardrobe at the end here. So this top cupboard we have here, it's all our toiletries. So we just have all our toiletries, shampoos and stuff hanging from a little shelf on the door there. Nothing too exciting there. These 3 drawers here are the kids' drawers. So we have 2 kids that travel with us. They each get a drawer for their clothes each, and then down the bottom it's just a whole lot of toys and books and whatnot they want to bring along with them. Moving across to this side, this is just another large wardrobe. So this one here does have a mirror on the inside of the wardrobe here, plus it has some hanging space. It's probably not the best use of space in here at the moment. We just sort of keep things like nappies and supplies and other big bulky items. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe try and install some shelves in there to make it a little bit more useful. The one down here is sort of just a bit of a storage area, sort of, I guess you can call it laundry. So it keeps all our dishwashing, clothes washing stuff, toilet paper, bathroom cleaners and toilet chemicals and whatnot down there. Just keeps them out of the way. It's a bit. So up on top of the wardrobe here, we just keep a collapsible bucket. So this bucket here is our dirty washing basket. So all that just gets chucked in there, ready to go. And then behind that, we have a couple of outlets here. So the first outlet is a TV antenna. So if you do have a TV in your van, you can chuck your TV up here for the kids to watch. And we've got a couple of 240 volt GPOs as well. This 12 volt is another one that we've optioned in during the build of the van. It just means we have a little bit of power down this end of the van if the kids want to charge some stuff while we're off grid. You might notice a couple of these little plugs on the back wall. There's 4 of them in total, 2 inside the cabinet and 2 on the top of the back wall. They relate to the bike rack that's on the back of the van. So they're just the bolts and the covers that cover that. Okay, so moving on to the ensuite in our van. So this van is a 17-foot van, which means it comes with the combined toilet and shower ensuite. So obviously being a pop top, the top half of this is canvas. It does have a little Velcro patch there, you can Velcro it up. And then it's all inside there. So while we're not using it for a shower, we have a couple of bath mats, one up here that we lay on the outside, and we do have one on the inside of the shower as well. So the shower's up against this wall here, and the toilet's on the back wall there. Also in here we have some hooks, the same sort of products we use for the storage basket in the kitchen. These are just suctioned onto the wall. We have 4 of them for the towels, plus another one here for some flannels and a soap holder as well. So they are some awesome stuff. I think it's Fusion Lock from Bunnings, and would definitely recommend them for some of your bathroom storage. So the toilet there has got a small basin above it, which also has access to hot and cold water. One thing to keep in mind with the hot water is your hot water system is in directly the opposite corner of your van. So you will have some cold water being wasted while you're waiting for the hot water to come through. Just something to keep in mind when you're free camping. Also in here we have a roof hatch up here, so that can be opened right up. It's got its own exhaust fan and there's a light in there as well. Okay, so the last thing I'll talk about, guys, is just the roof. So the roof on this van, we've upgraded time. We upgraded the aircon from a wall mounted to a roof mounted. So we're running a Truma rooftop air conditioner, which is currently on because it's quite warm outside today. So that's a fair bit of height you're going to add to the outside of your van, but they do work really well for the aircon. Not so much for heating, just something to consider as well. Also in this van we've got a large roof hatch. So this hatch does open right up, so you can have it so the breeze comes through. We've also got a fly screen on one end and a blackout blind on the other as well, so it does keep it nice and dark during those early mornings. Another thing with the pop tops is they have these zip up canvas windows on all 4 sides. So you can unzip these parts here. They have a fly screen on the outside and they can be rolled down, and it really does open your van up and make it feel a lot breezier and lighter on the inside. A little bit warm today, but it definitely is a great thing when you've got some perfect weather. One other thing to consider with the pop tops as well are these 2 vents. There's one here above the kitchen and one above the top bunk there. They're designed to prevent any gas build or carbon monoxide build up inside the van. So although they can be a little frustrating and do let out the cold and the heat, they do have to be there for safety reasons, so just something to consider as well. So one more thing I haven't covered on yet is these arms here. So these are the arms that lift up the pop top on the van. So there's obviously one at the front here and one at the back. They do have a small clip here that just holds them, retain them in place. They do retain in place by themselves, but it's just a safety clip there to make sure they don't fall down. These are also a little bit of a benefit with the pop tops because like you can see here, we do hang some clothes and some tea towels and whatnot, and you can also use them as a sort of like drying racks as well once you've done some washing. So they come in handy as well. Just another benefit of having a pop top, I guess. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed a bit of a tour of the inside of our van. And I hope we've given you some ideas about what you can do and how you can pack your van to make it more enjoyable on your next trip. The only advice I can give is just get out there and do it. We've been camping with our little ones now for a little while, and this van has made it so much more comfortable for us. And I think it surprises us and some other people we go camping with about just how far we can take this van without causing any damage. So Look, if you have any questions, you can follow us on Facebook or on Instagram at Exploring Oz. Shoot us a message and we'll try and get back to you. But otherwise, stay tuned for the next video and we'll see you then. Thank you.